Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. Nuclear war, huh? I know some other people have touched on this, but Sergei Lavrov, who is he? He's the Russian. I'm trying to think of his title. Foreign minister, I believe he is. Anyway, he's a guy who knows what he's talking about and kind of is in charge and has taken the Russian message to the world. He has implied that nuclear war is getting to be a greater possibility. Now, we'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute. I want to welcome everybody to the channel. Welcome to all the new people particularly, and especially those of you who have already joined us over on Patreon. If you haven't joined us on Patreon yet, I hope that you will. I suggest that you do, because I put so much more over there than I put on here. Just to give you an example, I just put up one on fighting for your life. It's something that not a lot of people know. There's a lot of people out there talking about fighting, but fighting for your life, there's not a lot of people who have actually done it, and it's not like most people think. And it is something that people should take some time listening to those who have, and listening to the lessons involved, and internalizing it, thinking about the day may come where you might find yourself in that position, and you need to have some guidance, some information on that. Maybe some of you guys have, in which case you might enjoy what we talk about over there. I also put up one also this morning, a tape on the celebration of life for Jim Harrison, a true warrior. Many of you may not know about Jim. He was a dear friend of mine. He wrote the part of the introductions on my first 3 books, but he didn't put himself out there. He didn't promote himself a lot, but he was a true pioneer in the martial arts in the United States, in America, back in the blood and guts era. He was a teacher beyond teacher. Not only a teacher, but he had done all of the things. He had done more than he ever let most people know that he had. The old joke about that the boogeyman checks under his bed for Chuck Norris. Well, Chuck Norris, who was a good friend of Jim's, and he laughs at this. Chuck Norris checks his closet for Jim Harrison. Jim passed away a couple of years ago, but I put up a video. If you want to see some, get a peek into the real lives of a modern day warrior samurai, you can watch that. He has some testimonials, some thoughts from some of the martial arts legends: Chuck Norris, Bill Wallace. I don't think Pat was, Ed Daniels. Some others are up there, and for those of you guys in the special operations community might know Ike Slaughter and David Coase, if they also speak there. It's something interesting for anybody who has a true interest. And Jim was also a pioneer in preparedness and survival training, clear back in the 60s. But like I say, he never made movies. He was one. Bruce Lee said that he feared no man, but the two that he wouldn't want to meet in an alley fight were Jim Harrison and Mike Stone. So if you like that kind of stuff, and I also put one up yesterday on one-man building clearing. So those are the kinds of things that I deal with over on Patreon. If you're interested in that, you ought to come join us. It's only $1 a month, and I don't have tiers. Just pay your buck and join in. You're going to learn a lot. Back to nuclear war. So Lavrov says that as a result of some of the things that NATO is doing, and you have to understand him, nuclear war could be creeping closer to us. You know. Now is that true? Or is this just, information for the masses, a message that he's sending to different governments, a message that he's trying to send to the people of the people of the United States to get pressure on us, to put pressure on on our government. Our government wants to fight with Russia. It's just beyond belief how they've been poking Russia for so long. Russia doesn't want our bases on his border. Who can blame that? Who can blame him for that? He doesn't want nukes in Ukraine. He doesn't want our people. He doesn't want Finland and Sweden joining NATO. It's understandable. We don't want Russian nukes in Cuba, right? And we had a blockade, and we almost came to exchange over that back in the 60s under Kennedy. But we keep poking this. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the politics of this so much. I want to talk about what it means to you, what it means to us. There are those who say, well, if it's a nuclear war, if it's a nuclear exchange, fine. I hope it falls on top of me. I don't want to live through it. That's up to you. Short-sighted as far as I'm concerned. Nuclear is very survivable. Go back and look and see, how Nagasaki and Hiroshima bounced back from it. Compared, interesting thing that I saw some time back is a comparison of either Hiroshima. That's the way we were told to pronounce it. I know other people say Hiroshima or Nagasaki. See how they were 20 years after the nuclear detonations, as opposed to how Detroit was or Baltimore 20 years after a Democrat mayor and police chief came in. I take Nagasaki and Hiroshima over that. So it is survivable. That's not something. And if you want to, I'm not going to make the case for this survivability here, but if you want to learn a little bit about that, I don't have the title right. It's by Crescent Kearney. It was his paper on something about surviving nuclear war, something like that. One of you knows it. One of you, go ahead and put it down here. Thank you for that. And I know a lot of you probably know it. A lot of you probably read it. I've got it. I printed it off. You can get it online. It's a PDF. You can print it off. I've got it back there somewhere. Now, I haven't been reviewing that lately. I have the basics internalized, and I realized that, okay, if we need to, we could survive this. Would the world that we come out into be worth surviving in? I think so. Not if you're, directly under it, or not if you are an area that the explosion itself or the wind patterns have taken into, the fallout, because there is, you got to wait a while before you start growing stuff. I'm being kind of flippant on that. So don't anybody come back and say, you've got to wait 9,000 years before. Okay. I get it. We're not talking about that. Is it survivable? My belief is it is. But here's so go find that if you want to. You can print it out. Thank you for whoever will put down the name of Kearney's book down here. And you can get it hardback too. I just happened to print it out. My concern is this. My concern is if, and my belief, if this develops into a nuclear situation with a nuclear exchange, it would be my feeling that Putin or any other sane or semi-sane actor would want to keep it regional. Okay, they can make his point. They can back things up. I mean, you pop a couple of nukes over there, and yeah, you might get some return from NATO, meaning from us, But would that return be an all-out return? That's my question, and it's a question that no one can answer. Resist the temptation to come on and say, "Oh yes, it would," or "Oh no, it wouldn't." We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Okay, that's the whole thing about preparedness. We prepared for what we don't know, but what might happen, right? So what I think might happen is if they would want to keep it regional, as a way to show, okay, you can't screw with this anymore. We're going to pop one into some target over there. We're going to do one. The phone call is going to be made ahead of time saying, hey, we're popping one there. If you come back at us, then it escalates. If you don't come back at us, well, we will allow you one return, and then let's talk about how we're going to fix this and what we're going to arrive at. What agreement we're going to arrive at. That's, would make a lot more sense. Putin doesn't want to die. Those people over there don't want to die. They don't want to be vaporized. They don't want to be glowing in the dark. They do not want us on their borders. And what kind of a country doesn't protect its borders? Right? Oh yeah, I can think of one. You think we wouldn't? You think this regime? Well, let me just ask you, what do you think they would respond with? Now, I know they want a war, but they want to. They're like a little kid. They want to poke. This is a couple of rungs up from a proxy war. I think that Lavrov made the statement that this was a proxy war, to where we were supplying, and we're supplying training and arms and all sorts of things to Ukraine. We ought to stay out of that mess. It's none of our business. And if you've looked into Ukraine, they're not the people you'd really want to be backing in this. I know there's people on YouTube backing all about Ukraine. Okay, I'd suggest you look farther into Ukraine. But for whatever reason, he said it's a proxy war. A real proxy war is when we supply one side of a dispute and Russia or somebody else supplies the other side. Okay, and we're kind of fighting each other, but we're fighting them not in our countries, right? We're fighting. We're not directly. We are not providing arms to somebody who's directly fighting Russia, but here we are. Okay, we have fought proxy wars in Southeast Asia, in Africa, in South America. Wait, we've done it in Africa? Yes, we have. But here we are directly arming someone who's attacking Russia. This goes back to our arming the so-called allies in World War I and World War II. And what did that lead to? The old Lend-Lease, the first, why was the Lusitania sunk? And they've been very clear, and I have to agree with them on this, that if you are sending arms to our enemy to be used against us, then, whatever truck, train, airplane, whatever you're sending it on is a target. It's a target. And, of course, we know how that can blow up. Okay, I got into more of that than I really meant to, but here's the thing. What we need to be concentrating on is how this affects us. If it affects us, am I too much? I don't know if that sun's hitting that camera or not. I don't know. Oh well, you can hear me. You don't need to see me. If there is even a limited regional exchange, it is going to make what's going on now, in my opinion, seem like practice. The supply chain issues will, grow 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Who knows? The supplies that we get, the food that we get, the necessities that we get, transportation, communication, all of this is going to be impacted. This really, it seems like we've been ratcheting up, right? We have been ratcheting up over the last year or so. Every month, week, day sometimes it seems, we're going, okay, that's going a little bit farther. This is getting a little bit closer to some real problems. I need to prepare better. I have whatever, I see a weak spot. Well, this really is one of those that if this happened, hey, all bets are off. It's locked down and, buttoned down, and make sure that you can provide for all of your needs, because those needs persist while the supply to satisfy them could really, curl up. The answer is, of course, basic preparedness, but even beyond a basic is going to be secondary and increased preparedness beyond that. I don't have to tell you all those things. I mean, I wrote books about it, right? I've written 5 books about this stuff. You don't need me to tell you anymore. Read my books. Haven't you read my books? You should. It'll tell you all about getting ready for something, for the world falling apart and making it through and rebuilding afterwards. Use this, like I say, to use every situation. Every new challenge should be used as a drill. And you should put a time frame on it. Oh my gosh, if this happens by Sunday, what would I be lacking in? What would my main problem be? Now, like I say, I don't think that here in the continental United States we're going to have to worry about a nuclear attack. I could be wrong. I don't know. Nobody knows. And anybody who is kind of operating on that, well, I know this or I know that, well, no, you don't. And so, back away and have a broader view, or else you're going to be tunnel visioned into something that might make you miss, something else that's important. So use this as a drill. If it happened tomorrow, what would I be short on? If it happened this weekend, what would I be short on? Say I've got a week, what would I be short on? And then you can extrapolate it out how longer you want, but the longer you take it away, the less pressing it seems. So I always say, what if it happened this afternoon, and then what if it happened tomorrow, and what if you got 3 days? Think about it in that way, and do what you can, do what you can afford without breaking yourself, to fill up whatever gaps you've got, because you won't be sorry. The only time you'll be sorry if you didn't and then you find out you needed to, right? So I'll let you go with that. You all have a good day. Remember, come join us on Patreon. We'd love to have you, and we put a lot over there that I think you'd enjoy watching and learn a lot from. The link is down there. Somebody said you need to tell them how to get over there. I always forget about that. The link is down there. Hit that link. Go to the Patreon. Sign up. Join us as a member. Cost you $1 for crying out loud. And I bet you'll agree that it was worth a lot more than that. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And assuming there's going to be a tomorrow, right? We'd better prepare for it today. You all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.